The Honourable Rod Caddies.
I rise today to address some comments made by the Honourable Sophie McNeil outside this place in relation to myself and the Honourable Phil Scott. Now, President, the Honourable Sophie McNeil got on the radio on ABC, Talkback Radio, and was hysterically accusing One Nation of being racist. Now, she claimed that she was sickened by having to sit in here and listen to One Nation and our racist views, and she said, I have to sit here in this parliament and listen to these One Nation MLCs, and every single question and every contribution we make is against migrants. That's simply not true. It's just untruthful to be claiming that every contribution we make, every question, she said, every question we ask in this parliament is targeting migrants. So, President, I can say with equivocation that I haven't said anything in this place that is remotely racist. So to have members of parliament getting on social media and radio, and this isn't the first time, it's happened in the past, and I've let that go on numerous occasions, but there's been promotions on radio and on social media continually claiming one about the racist thing. Before it was me speaking at protests that I would be enabling neo-Nazis and yeah, so I mean the fact is it's clear to me that Honourable Sophie McNeil knows very well that these are false accusations. What she's saying is not true. To claim that every question we ask, every contribution we make is about migrants and attacking migrants. I mean, every member in here has heard what I've contributed, and there may be things you disagree with at different times, but that claim is just so baseless to say that, that every question and contribution is about migrants. Now, I'm going to skip some parts because the honourable member's out on important business, so I'm not going to mention some of the things I was going to mention because I'd prefer it if someone's here when I was talking about these, so I'll skip some of it. But you know, using your position in this place and inflaming tensions is not a good thing. We've heard it from other members in here, including people on my committee about, you know, the impacts of people and what they say out there and how that can have an impact on your family and people. This is real life dangers. We've seen people that are now being pulled up for, you know, whether it be the Australia Day things with the people throwing the bombs and the people getting arrested. This sort of inflammatory talk about saying that members of this House are just everyday racist, just continually everything we contribute, every question, every contribution, is just unfair and not really good for society, because you're raising people's emotions up maybe to even believe that we are. Now, not only is she doing that, she's promoting to go and protest an event we have for my leader, Pauline Hanson, coming over here, and that's fine. We can all disagree with one another's political stances. But I've never had a thought where I want to go protest against another Member of Parliament's event. I mean, it's one thing protesting about things you don't believe in, disagree with, want to get changed, but to go and promote continuously every day, and not only to promote that you're going to be there and protest against it and be a guest speaker, but to encourage others and to encourage this protest group that she's promoting. These people turned up at one of our last events last weekend in Fremantle, and they were committing assaults. They screamed in my ear with megaphones, put it up against my head and had my ears ringing for a couple of hours. They were grabbing people by their jumpers as they walked through, calling them racist. They were grabbed this Asian fella who said, yeah, I do support One Nation. They said, racist migrant. They were saying migrants welcome, racists not. But then instantly they said racist migrant because he was walking into our venue. It's just a disgrace. So, and these people, these WA socialists and some of the people that are involved with them, they're not just after us. They're not just opposing One Nation. I heard them. They were screaming about Labor. The government attacking them, saying how bad you guys were. They were saying that you're as bad as One Nation, just the opposite. Like you're not left enough. It wasn't Labor or not left-leaning enough. This is what they were screaming and shouting. So these people aren't just protesting against One Nation. This is, some of these guys are extremists. They were talking about violence. We've heard the Honourable Sophie McNeil, we've heard members of Parliament here condemn her on that, saying she's happy breaking the law. You know, we have a rule of law. We're lawmakers. And encouraging these, you know, these people going, like I said, that are screaming in people's ears, grabbing them as they're walking through. These are just innocent, everyday people that believe in democracy and want to turn up to an event and listen to what people have to say. So anyway, I wanted to bring that to the House here today because I feel it's not a great thing. I could do the same. I don't. I have huge social media reach. Sophie puts it, Honourable Sophie McNeil puts it all over her social media. I could do the same. I've had 2.4 million views this month. I could be inciting way more, but I don't want to do that. I come here, we discuss things, we do what we were voted in to do, we have differences of opinions, and we air them here and we debate things in Parliament. But to fire up these groups that, you know, this is where these things like Charlie Kirk and the different people, when we shut down other people's opinion, you know, we've heard it. We've heard the Honourable Sophie McNeil scream and shout in here about her freedoms and want to be able to, you know, fight for her ideologies and what she believes in. And I encourage it.
Order, member. Just want to draw your attention to Standing Order 45, which requires us to not to make personal reflections on, amongst other groups, members of either House of Parliament, and it also suggests that such comments are disorderly. In addition, it also requires us not to suggest improper motives of members of Parliament and other groups. So I've been listening carefully to your contribution, and while I am not quite sure that standing order has been breached fully, you are, I think, skirting very close to breaching that standing order. So what I suggest is that you consider the next part of your contribution in light of that standing order to make sure that it's not breached. The Honourable Rod Caddies.
Okay, thank you, President. Well, I mean, I could go on and say a lot more, but I'm not going to because I've said what I wanted to say. I wanted to bring it to the attention of this House because I'd prefer not to have social media wars with other members of Parliament and other parties. I prefer to bring it here to the attention of people in this House that we all should be, you know, of the understanding we shouldn't be out there pushing this negative rhetoric against other members of Parliament in this House in a way that is inflammatory, that will cause violence. So I'll leave my contribution there. Thank you.